the truth.
Yo, welcome back. Episode 3. What's the name of this? Who Gets a Pass?
Who Gets a Pass?
And we're talking
podcast.
Specifically about the N-word. We'll say the actual word later on, but we don't want YouTube to drop this shit. So, or I said shit already. So
we can curse.
The point is, yeah, we could curse, but I don't know how this monetization stuff works.
Okay.
But we're gonna be talking about both the word nigga, nigger, any variation that sounds remotely similar to those two words.
And who can say this shit?
Yeah, who can say it without getting slapped, which is not that many people. But I guess to start it off, I mean, I think the reason we wanted to talk about this was, I don't know. I think we can both say that we've come across people who have said the word that was repeated in a song, and they just assumed it was okay because such and such wrote it, which, in my opinion, doesn't justify it.
So what is the first song that comes to mind when you're like, I know these bitches want to say this word?
Yes, and it's
because I
Kendrick's.
was with you when I felt that.
You can tell me what song you're thinking of, but I'm thinking of Kendrick, Mad City, just because without that word, the song just sounds kind of weird.
Awful.
Yeah. What song were you thinking of?
Yo, we were at Rolling Loud 2018, and the banger of the summer was what's his fucking name? Lil Dicky and Chris Brown.
Oh shit, yeah, that. And I'm thinking of Mo Bamba too. Now that I think of it,
which is the official Jewish
that was at the
wedding
Coachella,
song,
right? Yeah. So it's wild. Those were the 3 songs. Yeah, the Chris Brown, Lil Dicky one, Mo Bamba. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Sheck West.
Yeah, Sheck West.
Kendrick. I guess the Kendrick one's a little more old school, but yeah, for sure those 2 songs. And it's I don't know how you sing the song without it though.
Like, I was like, yo, chill.
That's what's funny. It's like whenever those songs get played live, I can't even enjoy the song. I'm just looking around to see who's old enough to fucking jump around and say,
like, say that shit. Say that shit.
Or they'll like mumble it to the ground and then come back up when the verse is over or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the one, dude. That little. I mean, that's why the song is fucking so genius, bro. Because he's out black guys. So like, I get it. Yep. But like, yo, these like white teenage girls love that song. I think.
You know what's wild? People got mad. They like took the transformation in the video serious. They got mad because they basically thought it was, since Chris Brown at that point had transformed, or Lil Dicky had answered Chris Brown's body pause.
Right.
At that point, people were saying that Lil Dicky was basically saying nigga the whole time, and like how that was inappropriate. I think that's taking it way too far.
Taking it way too far, bro. Taking it way too far. All right, but what I think we should do, because we haven't had this conversation, like, obviously we've spoken about this shit, but not like we're doing this shit a podcast for a reason. So tell the people your ethnic background. I'll tell you, obviously, I'll explain my ethnic background and how we came to a cohesiveness that we are 2 people allowed to use this word. You go first.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm half Jamaican, half African American, I guess. I don't really like the term African American just because it's so vague. But my mom is African American. My dad's Jamaican. I obviously look black in some way, so you can tell I have African descent. So for me, obviously, I don't have to like ask for a pass, regardless.
Yeah, true.
And then you can go into your background, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm fully Dominican, right? And there's all types of Dominican, right? There's like the same way there's all types of Jamaican people, right? People don't know this, but you could be Chinese looking Jamaican,
exactly.
You can be white looking Jamaican, or you can be Blair looking Jamaican.
Right.
So for Dominicans, we have the full spectrum. You can be as white as my mom, or as dark as my dad, or as dark as my cousins, or whatever. Like, it's just a full spectrum. But obviously, Dominican Republic was ruled by Spain, and they brought over black slaves, right? So that's where I get my African descent. So like when I was a kid, it was weird because like I was kind of light skinned, but then like the majority, like a large portion of my family is like super dark. So I'm just like what's going on here? Like what am I, right? And then I end up being this, which is like some code of in between. But yo, I get the pushback sometimes when I use it, and like I need to tell this story because like I'm gonna forget. All right, so let me tell you this fucking story real quick. So this shit was like 3 months ago, bro. This shit's like super fresh in my mind. And I think it could lead nicely into like a conversation amongst the brown community that there's levels to this shit. It's not just, oh, you're brown, so you're good, because it's not. So I was at my boy's party from work. He's Jamaican. Shout out to my boy John Hunter. So usually doesn't fuck around and invite a lot of coworkers to his like gatherings, right? Because like smoking, whatever, shit's going on. This is a full Caribbean vibe. Everyone's Jamaican, Trinidad Tobago, Guyana, everything, bro. So one lady asked me like, hey, so how come I've never seen you before? I'm like, oh, I work with John. She's like, oh, he doesn't really invite a lot of coworkers out. And I'm like, yeah, but he only invited me because like he wanted his brown friends to be here. And then this bitch turns around and is like, you're brown? I was like, mind you,
wait,
though,
then what'd she think you were?
Bro, this is my point. Mind you, if we're using the spectrum of brown to black to dark,
Right. Yeah.
she's at this spectrum.
Okay.
So my thing
so
is like,
to her, it's like you're light, no pun intended, light years away from her.
facts,
in terms of
bro. And
okay.
I'm telling you, because we always see these memes and conversations at the barbershop, there is a hatred, maybe not that hard, but there's a hatred if you're dark skinned
Yeah.
to someone who's light skinned.
Right.
Because
I'm sure if Steph Curry said nigga, some people probably get pissed off.
Facts, bro. There's a fucking like comparison. Oh, you're light skinned. Shit's probably easier for you than it is for me.
Right.
Because again, no disrespect, my girl was dark, bro. Like, so I think she was just like, yo, you're not brown. She was obviously joking, but I was like, bitch, you're saying that because you're dark as let's be honest right now. So I just had to share that story. But yeah, dude, I'm fucking like I consider myself of African descent. Like, that's just, it is what it is. So like, I've never had a problem. No one's ever checked me. No one's ever said, yo, you can't use that word. Like, I was raised by an African American male. So like, it just is what it is. So like, that's
Plus,
how
I feel like, because I was looking at some videos online of rappers and whoever else who had their own input, and I think, to your point, African descent does play a part, and especially in New York, like the Latino / Black communities are so integrated that it's just normal to be hearing kids who are light skinned, Puerto Rican or Dominican or whatever, saying the word to their Black friends who are as dark as Akon. So I feel like that's why, you know, in those scenarios it's not as weird. But for me, I think sometimes class, like socioeconomic class, can play a role too, because like hearing, let's say, a super wealthy, like, I don't know, Asian or Mexican kid saying it versus like a straight up gangbanging Asian or Latino dude say it, I feel like, at least to my ears, it sounds kind of different, because you know, one person grew up around that and like lived that and probably had, you know, friends who were, I guess, around that or living that lifestyle and saying the word too, versus a kid who grew up in like some really nice suburbs just saying it because Drake said it. I feel like that's where it gets a little more uncomfortable. Not that I would necessarily give any like non-African descent person a pass, but I think it's more understandable and tolerable when you know it's not coming from a place of, you don't have to question if it's coming from a place of like hate or like you're doing it because it's fashionable type thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a term of endearment.
Yeah, but I think it could be used as a weapon too, because like for instance, the word bitch, I know you said it a couple times, I say it all the time, but I don't really use it directly to women in real life, just because it comes off weird, I guess.
Yeah, I'd never.
I could never like go up to a girl at a club and be like, "Damn, you're the baddest bitch in here." You know that?
Yeah,
and I'm sure some girls.
I'm
I'm sure some girls like that. But I'm sure the vast majority wouldn't find that gentleman-like or like attractive. So
yeah, I think the only thing that's like politically correct right now is to call a girl like a boss bitch. Like that's pretty much
like
it.
That's like the furthest you could go without getting slapped.
Yeah, exactly.
And even that, you might get slapped.
Like,
not as hard, but
you a boss bitch. Like, yo, like, chill.
With your hands out just in case.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you a boss bitch. You a boss bitch. But that's funny though. So we like again. So yeah, I mean, I think economics of the situation kind of play a part. But then, all right, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. So growing up, I like listening to a lot of Indian rappers. I grew up in India, so whenever I see one, I'm like, yo, let's fucking support the dude hardcore. So what do you think about like Nav, right? Nav's one of my favorite rappers, but Nav drops the N-word all the time. So, or at least a couple hits he has, the N-word is prevalently used by him. I won't say all the time, but he uses it with no pushback whatsoever. Right. So how do you feel about someone of Indian descent? I mean, I don't know what struggles he had in Canada before he started popping, but what do you think about someone who's just blatantly like, there is no correlation between black and Indian, right? Like Indians are Indians. They came from like Persian descent, like.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm a little biased. Well, for one, I'm just so used to hearing the word in hip hop that, like, unless you're white, it's not that jarring to me to begin with. And then my brother, I don't know if you even know this, but he's half Indian. And he, of course, has a couple Indian friends. And we're all, I mean, he's my actual literal brother. But, like, I consider his friends brothers, too, basically. And they've said it before. They don't use it to the extent of what you'd expect from, like, I guess, generic black dude from the hood, but enough to the point where you might think about it. And when I first heard Nav and he used it, I literally didn't think of it for more than a second. I was like, oh wait, isn't he Indian? But I'm like, oh, he's not white, so I'm not gonna go out and protest on Twitter and shit.
All right, and that's a good point though. So he's not white, but then I always brought up a point with you before when we were talking about this subject. It's that you can't really then, if you're going to use it, be all in, right? So I brought up the example of DJ Khaled. When Khaled Khaled's been surrounded by black people his entire life. Like, yo, Khaled's been doing this shit for like 25 years. So this at no means is a fucking shot at Khaled, his fucking, like his credentials, like at all. But I feel like if you're going to use it, bro, you need to come in using that shit right. And when he first came out, if you remember, he was calling himself the sand nigga. And like,
I don't remember that shit at all.
Oh, I remember that shit, bro. I used to be on.
You must have paid someone to bury that.
I was on. Remember back in the day, the website I go to for like any hip hop news was like so.com, like SOHH.
Yeah.
He was getting pushed back for that like back then, bro. Yeah. And he was like the sand, like, yeah, I'm a sand nigga. And I feel like you only add sand because you know you're not this, and you just don't want to get, you know what I mean? Like just come and saying it, bro. Like just fucking say, yo, I'm that nigga, and then whatever. Then it is what it is.
Right.
So that's the only time I'm like, bro, if you feel you shouldn't use the word correctly, then probably don't use it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you're familiar with this Asian rapper. His name's Stupid Young. He's out of Cali, so I think he's just more well known in this area. But he uses the word nigga all the time. He's basically an Asian Crip. So I feel like street cred does play a role in it because, one, not a lot of people are going to check him because if they see him in the streets, what are they going to really say? Right. Unless they're banging on him too. And then two, I feel like some people just, it's sad how we might equate being from the streets to being black or being able to use black slurs, because it's like, I guess to some people it goes hand in hand. Like you're in the hood with
right?
black people.
Like we're kind of like pushing forward our narratives too much.
Yeah. So personally, I don't think it's ever gonna. The word's not gonna ever disappear. So it's really difficult to say who should and shouldn't say it, unless it really gets that much attention and people just straight up ban people. But I think for a fact, like white people can just, have no intention of using it, because I think behind every action there's a consequence, no matter what it is. You can do whatever you want, but we can't speak for every black person or person period that finds the word offensive. So just remember, if you're out at a concert hearing it or jumping around and repeating it, somebody in the crowd might turn around and slap you. And not necessarily us, but somebody might. So you just have to keep
I'm not gonna slap you. I might look at you super funny, like really. Like,
and I get it. Like there's a lot of songs where if you omit the word, you might as well turn this shit off, because like it just it ruins the momentum, the flow, everything.
So we have a mutual Caucasian friend who's a female. My dating preference for the most part has been white females. I'm just gonna call my own. Like
we're gonna have the shea butter Twitter girls just fucking destroying the comments.
I gotta be honest. I've dated black girls, dated Indian girls. I date all colors, but my previous record right now is white American. It just is what it is. They call me on a good day, but they've been, for the most part, relatively comfortable using that word around me. And we mentioned we were going to talk about this, so we're saying right now, if it's you and I and said girl in the room, is she allowed to use this word? And if a song comes on, not no fucking normal shit like you walk in and she's like, yo, my nigga, that's never allowed. Never, ever, ever allowed. But like if a song comes on that has the word and it's just in the room, it's just you and I, can she use the word go?
You just gotta mumble it or replace it with hitta or something.
No, no, she can't use it. I'm the fuck, like she can't use it.
No, you gotta. I feel like there's too many. I thought hitta was the elected word as a replacement because it still rhymes with it. It doesn't completely ruin it.
Oh, like, you think change the song? Literally, like change the lyric.
Yeah, just change it to hitta or like
I'm good
something.
With that. I'm good with that.
Or ninja. Ninja's damn near close enough.
Yeah, but it's corny though, bro. It's like,
corny. Well, you can't do it with your chest out. You just gotta fucking look at the ground or something.
I say if you're white and if you're these girls, because I really think it's girls. I think they get a pass because they're cute.
Yeah,
it's like white dudes know like that. Yeah. That rule has been set years ago.
That is very true.
Like white girls, then they get a pass because I was raised by a black. No.
Not even that. They just say they have two black friends, so they know. They bought the dude's album or some shit.
They pull out their phone like, look, this is us on Instagram 2 years ago. Like,
I think some of them genuinely think that's what you want to see or hear, though. Like they're like, oh, let me say this because he might think I'm cool or some shit. Nah,
I'll question it. I'm like, yo, you way too comfortable right now. We may need to go on a break and just think about where we're at in this relationship. That's what I'm gonna think.
Yeah.
But I would just say if you're that girl who wants to use this word in a rap song because you're rapping along to the radio, whatever, I would just say, just stop talking when those lyrics are used. Just like you can keep bopping, but just don't. Your mouth does not have to move when those lyrics.
Exactly.
You can say in your head 1,000 times. That's fine. Just don't.
And I don't know about you, but like when I grew up, I wasn't allowed to repeat the curse parts in songs, so I had to find a fucking replacement word. And now look at me, I'm cussing all the damn time. So
yeah,
I think you could deal with it, and it's not the biggest inconvenience, really, at the end of the day. Depending on the song you're listening to. If you're listening to YG, my nigga, then I don't know. You just gotta forget the song was ever created.
Well, I think the clean version is my hitter, my hitter.
Yeah, my hitter, and I think I even got used to that version more from hearing it on the radio.
That's actually a good version. Yeah. That's a good version. Yo, so what is because you told me about, like, you just mentioned when you were young. What's the first song you remember hearing that word and saying, yo, that shit slaps?
Honestly, it might have been was it No Limit, I think. It was, I forget the actual title of the song, but the fuck them other niggas, cause I'm down for my niggas.
Yeah, that's it.
And that was like the chorus basically. But I don't even think the radio didn't really play it. So
I remember again, I'm from New York. I ride or die, literally ride or die, pun intended, because Rough Riders Volume 1 came out, and the lead single was Jay-Z's Swiss Beats produced Jigga My Nigga.
No, sorry, I take that back. That was the one. I remember when I was in the car with my cousin and that shit came on and she sung it and my eyes just fucking expanded. I'm like, damn, she really said that? But I wanted to say it so bad, so I feel for the people who can't say it.
Yo, that song, yeah, if you were a white female, white male in like the late 90s, you missed out, because that song was fun to rap. I was 6 years old and I was like, Jacob, what's my name?
That takes the cake for the song where, like, if you remove the word, it fucks up the vibe for like 3 seconds.
Dude, that's a useless song for 3 minutes. Not 3 seconds, bro. Well, 3 minutes. That's funny. Well, yeah. All right, so let's just throw some real quick people out, though, that we say yay or nay, and then we'll change topics, right? So I know J-Lo's gotten flack in the past. Puerto Rican.
Who? Oh, J-Lo,
Jennifer Lopez,
I remember
Puerto
that.
Rican from the Bronx. Should she be allowed to use the word? Yes or no? Your go.
At the time, I was like, she can do whatever she wants. She's the most beautiful woman on the planet. But now that I'm older and more educated, I'll still say yes, because she's of African descent technically.
True. I say yes because she may look a certain way, which is more on like maybe the Spanish heritage side than the African descent side.
Yeah.
But Ja Rule wrote that lyric for her, and if Ja gave her a pass, I give her a pass.
Right.
Fat Joe, same shit.
Yes, for
Puerto
sure.
Rican from the Bronx, white as fuck, bro. Like white, like looks white.
I think with him, for me personally, I don't see him as like I just feel like he automatically gets a pass based on who he is, who he's been around, who he vouches for, like just his upbringing. I feel like it would be weird to not let him have a pass. Almost like I just can't imagine it.
Agreed. I'm just bringing up names. I think I had a couple other people fucking written down. We already said Nav. We said DJ Khaled. Rich Chigga. Now only
I'm pretty sure he said nigga once in like his breakout song, and that made me question. I was like, wait, did he really say that? But I think
even he thinks he doesn't get a pass anymore because he
changed his name. And I don't know if that was his own doing or if Rich Brian. And I don't know if that was his own doing or if people in the comments just blasted him and he's like, I gotta change it, otherwise I'm done. Plus, right. I mean, the name sounds kind of corny, so Rich Brian's a lot better.
That's just fucking clickbait.
Yeah.
But he ended up being a dope rapper though, so kudos to him.
Yeah.
Eminem.
Sure. Oh, absolutely not. And I don't even think he wants it. He's never said it to my knowledge. And I just feel like as a white individual, the history is so fresh and rich and tied to that word. It's just weird trying to give someone a pass. If he said it, I obviously wouldn't be as pissed off as like fucking Tanner down the street saying it to me. But I still don't feel comfortable giving it a pass.
I don't think he's ever wanted to say it anyway, so it's fine. But someone who's gonna hit close to home for you, G-Eazy pulls up to a club and it's just fucking nah.
First off, I don't like G-Eazy that much. He's a dope lyricist, but he definitely doesn't get the pass either. Like, you can still be dope and like he's obviously not my brother, but if he was some dude I grew up with and I really fucked with him like that, I still wouldn't want him to call. I wouldn't want any of my existing white friends or non-black friends to like openly feel that comfortable. Yeah, it's just weird.
Agreed.
It's weird, like NBA Youngboy said.
I agree with you. All right, so pretty much weird. We're talking about people like just not being authentic to themselves, corniness. So I know you wanted to talk about like just like the level of corniness right now in the culture in general. So, you know, who do you want to touch upon first that really like just struck a nerve with you? Like, yo, this is like, I know we're in a time where music is coming through, and I know music hasn't been great this year, but over the past 3 years, though, man, music has been on the fucking, like, there's been bangers every week now because of streaming. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of corniness that you can just tell, like, hey, you're popular today with this current wave, but you're probably just so inauthentic, you're not going to be around in like 5 years. So, what are a couple people who are just like so corny to you that don't really stand for anything?
I think, I wouldn't say I necessarily think they're super corny, but I think, unfortunately, Logic and J. Cole are getting pushed into that category.
You think J. Cole is corny?
No, I don't think he's corny. I'm saying I feel like somehow the masses have convinced the masses that he's now corny. And when I think it's just because he took that like positive conscious rap approach, and then so much like trap shit flooded, this new school shit flooded the scene, that him like rapping against drugs and stuff like that just comes across like a parent preaching. So I think people are just like, I don't want to hear that shit, is corny. And Logic did that too with the Suicide song.
Logic is corny. The J. Cole one, I haven't heard that one yet.
And I think Logic got corny because he was too people think he's too positive. Like, I get it. I'd rather live my life positively than negatively, but at the same time, people that like no matter how much or little money you have, your life isn't always positive. So we want to hear more about the dark side of to whatever you're dealing with in the music, and not, fucking let's all hold hands and hug trees and shit. Like that's not what the average person wants to hear, unless they're fucking 7 years old.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Logic is corny. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the corny doesn't mean you don't put out dope shit. Like there's been shit he puts out that's dope. Like I think the Bobby Tarantino 2 mixtape was fire. Like I agree with that. But there's other shit he puts out that's just fucking corny. Like bro, like no one wants to hear this shit, bro. Then you're always fucking talking about like I'm black, I'm white, I'm black, I'm white. Just fucking rap, bro. Like no one wants, no one cares. Like no one cares. Right. Who do I think is corny right now, bro? I do. I honestly think, and again, you can be corny, put out hot shit. Dude, like that little pump movement, bro, like that shit was corny to me. Like bro, like all you do is rap about drugs and you look like a fucking alien. Like,
yep.
like I know I'm an old head. Like I know he's like 19 and I'm 30, but bro, like this shit is corny. And like when all these fucking kids at these festivals lose their mind over him, I'm like, bro, this isn't music, bro. This isn't repeating the same word 15 times on a 2-minute song. Like the fuck.
Right. I still don't know to this day if he did that shit on purpose or if he's that slow.
I think he's that smart, creation. Bro. I think he's smart. Like I think he actually is a marketing genius.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, dude.
But where the fuck is he now? I haven't seen shit from him since.
He had the album Harvard Dropout. I don't think it did well.
Yeah, I like 2 songs off of it.
Though, he had he said multiple number one records, dude. For him to come out with that song with fucking Kanye and fucking perform at SNL, like
that was big. That was the moment when I'm like, damn, the impact he's having is a lot bigger than I had thought.
Right, if Kanye is fucking co-signing. Yeah. Who else is kind of corny
Speaking
right now?
Speaking of nigga, he says nigga a lot, and I think
he's Mexican.
Isn't he like Cuban or some shit too?
I think he's like fully Mexican.
Either way, I feel like people don't really question him saying it.
Yo, but I think we also get confused because it's how you present yourself, right? Like my man's coming with you with fucking face tattoos, braids, braids. He's kind of tan.
Yeah. And then side by side with like Smoke Perp and Gucci Mane and Kanye.
Right. He's kind of like he's kind of the same complexion as like Smoke Perp, like kinda.
Yeah.
And we know Smoke Perp is black, so it's like that's the thing, bro. Like you just fucking blend into what you're surrounded. So I kind of get what you were saying earlier about like I give this guy a pass because he grew up in the hood. Is like, bro, because if you saw him with his niggas, you'd be like, that's just another nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't even fucking think twice. Like, oh, he must be like Hispanic, but he's hanging out with them. Like,
right.
That's him and his niggas. Like, that's just, it is what it is. Yeah. But that nigga's corny. That's what I'm fucking saying. That's just how I feel about that subject. All right. So what else would I get into before we give the people a rest here, man? I know. What about the idea of just being authentic to yourself, bro? So we have the other extreme. What are some guys you feel are being true to themselves, and it's not only fucking helping their career, but just like they're just gonna have like massive longevity in the game?
I don't know. That's an interesting one because.
And bro, it could be anything. Don't just think fucking music. It could be fashion. It could be like movies, like whatever, bro.
I mean, I think in any industry, it's hard for people to be 100% authentic because you're gonna have to exaggerate it to an extent to catch the people's attention. But what I think, I guess music just comes to mind because it's an area that I first got into, thinking to myself like, all right, because I feel like image is an important aspect of it, and at the time, there just weren't that many rap. Like, I think Kanye was one of the pioneers as far as like being a huge artist who wasn't just a typical street dude. So even for me, I was like, do I have to make music that appeals to a certain crowd, and exaggerate, even if I don't live that way necessarily? I'm sure there's a lot of rappers who like sold one dime bag of weed and then all of a sudden they're rapping about being a kingpin and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, if the song slaps, do people care? Because one thing that comes to mind is if Tekashi got out after snitching and all that stuff and made some fire tracks, like, do you think you personally could enjoy it, or do you not care because
there's no way?
Because at that point, did you believe his lifestyle prior to everything?
I didn't have any reason to question.
Yeah. Because I think for me it was entertaining.
I don't know. It's entertaining. I don't know. Yeah. But then you fucking find out all this other shit. It's like whoa.
Yeah. So I think at least initially people want to buy into the movie script, and as long as that movie script's entertaining, they're cool with it. But then when the script fucking takes a left turn, then everyone's out. Like with the whole TK rapper who, to give you a background, he basically was on house arrest and I think cut his bracelet off and fucking took off, got caught, and now he's facing like 50 years in prison or something, and he's only like 16.
Oh my god. What was he on a house arrest for?
I want to say it was homicide, or at least that's what he was, an accessory at a minimum. So but people love the song, and like people can casually be like, yo, shot this nigga in the face, like on my way to school, blah blah. But nobody, like, we're so desensitized to the lyrics, we don't think that these things actually happen. And then lo and behold, they do. And then people want to flip around and be like, oh, he's a fucking idiot. Like, how could he do something so evil? He deserves 1,000 years in prison and shit. And it's like, I feel like you almost have to pick a side.
Dude, so I'm gonna tell you.
Or do you? I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you my person in a second, who I think is just super authentic and it's great. But I want to just pick up something you just said. The whole, like, we're so desensitized to certain, like, lyrics, bro. Because I didn't really understand what the fuck I was rapping along at the time when I was like 8 years old. I realized, like, when I was like 20 years later, bro, Nelly's first hit, I'm going down, baby. He's talking about rolling up through a block and shooting everybody.
Wait, is this confirmed?
Yo, street sweeper is a metaphor for a gun.
But the song is so like jolly.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like that makes it even more like fucking menacing. That's, bro, like out of a serial killer movie.
Street sweeper, baby, ready to let it go. Yo, like that's talking about killing
That's
people.
Wild. That's and wild. Like, I never knew that.
By 7-year-old self is like, ooh.
That's fucking nuts.
That's wild, bro. But like, yeah, if the fucking shit slaps, you're like, yeah, whatever you say, that's awesome. But like, yo, this dude is literally talking about going through a fucking neighborhood in St. Louis and just fucking laying anyone and everyone out.
But is he just saying that though, or was he doing that shit? I thought Nelly never like. I never saw him as like a gangster rapper.
No. I don't think he was. I mean, I think he was in the streets like selling shit, but like. But yeah, that song was about fucking rolling through a fucking neighborhood, and if anyone got in your way, you're fucking laying them out.
What about the shimmy shimmy cocoa pop shit? What the fuck was that about?
Dude, maybe that was a fucking innuendo for like, yo.
That's way too deep of like, or maybe he just wasn't trying to catch a case and he low key killed like 40 people that week when he released his song.
Dude, maybe, bro, but I don't know. But I just remember like, cause I remember when like I was watching VH1 when they do like the 10 best songs that you didn't know meant something else. That was like,
damn, I gotta watch this now.
I was like, yeah, that was my childhood.
Yo, yeah, low-key, you were supporting a fucking mass shooter, not even a
mass shooter, bro. We get sad about these school shootings, but let fucking Nelly drop a song.
Nelly's out here fucking killing everybody.
But I think, yo, personally, this is just me. This is not light skin bias. But I think Drake has been the most authentic to himself since day one, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's pushed
it a little bit, but he's had some questionable lines. But I mean, they're kind of true because he has so much money, he literally could pay somebody to kill you at this point.
Yeah, 100%. But like, as far as like the singing, like he never changed. Like, yo, I'm a fucking rap, but then if I want to sing about these girls who I see the strip club, I'm gonna do that as well. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But like everyone fucking likes it. Like no one is saying like, all right, fine, maybe I don't like that song. But then fast forward 4 years later, like, yo, that fucking album was a classic. It's like, bro, when that shit dropped, you were hating it. Like,
right.
So I think Drake, dude, the fact that he's been around since fucking like 06 is fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. And yo, he's like the dude, he just passed the Beatles with the most fucking top 10 Billboard records. Like, that is fucking insane. Like, yeah, so
that is insane.
I think
but every time I see those stats, it is crazy, but the stats I think are skewed in a way in the favor of these artists now, because like you could accidentally listen to this shit and still give them a bump in the ratings. I don't know how they work, so I can't be too sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I think the numbers are fucking boosted with it's almost like steroids. But I do think though there's more authenticity when it comes to like that part of the Billboard Top 100, like because those are just singles, right? Like the album's numbers get inflated because you listen to an album once, that's a fucking that's bullshit. Because it was the same thing back in the day. It wasn't really who was buying the single. It was like how much was the radio playing it, right? So it's kind of that's more apples to apples. Whereas when these fucking artists stream a trillion fucking records, now they went triple platinum. It's like that's dude, because really no one's buying your shit. Like
yeah.
So I think the album to album one is not a fair comparison. I think the top 100 shit's a little bit different though, because you actually are just like it's just radio plays. So
yeah.
So I think Drake is my guy. I know you want to talk about some current events, man. I think the current event we're both fucking just on right now is the fact that I know A$AP went to jail for 2 weeks, but the shit seems kind of light. Like,
yeah, it was what, like $1,000, like $1,500 for slapping the dog shit out of this dude, which I mean was warranted. I'm not gonna lie, but damn, I thought he was gonna as much money as he's worth.
Get off. Period. I thought he was gonna get it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it came back guilty, but you're good to go. Like, what?
You're guilty, but you're paying literally a fucking littering ticket for beating the shit out of somebody. Like a littering ticket is like $1,000.
The kids who he fucked up, they had to pay a fine too.
And wasn't it like almost the same amount?
It was like the same amount. It was like I think they had to pay like $1,200 to like whatever.
Well, I guess it's almost equal punishment.
Well, yeah, that's hysterical to me, bro. Like, again, it sucks that he was in jail for 2.5 weeks or however long it was. But the fact that my man got out, was found guilty, and was like, yo, here's a fucking he's making that in 10 minutes at his next show? Like,
not even. This fool could do like a DM somebody for $1,000.
Dude, show up to my daughter's bar mitzvah or whatever, like a sweet 16. Like, yo, here's that. Just leave.
I just can't believe after all that controversy, that's the amount that everyone had to pay. Like, you would think this would be like a multi-million-dollar case or something. But I don't know how Sweden works, so.
Yeah, I don't know how Sweden works either. I mean, they got nice furniture. That's about it.
And chocolate, right?
Chocolate. And yeah, dude, the fact that fucking Trump and Kanye and Kim Kardashian were involved, and it's like, all right, he's free, but he's guilty, but it's fine.
Right.
All right, bro. So this is our special segment. We're starting it off episode 3. We're gonna do this every single episode moving forward. This is officially Heat of the Week.
Yes.
Kemek and I are gonna talk about what we've been banging right now, listening to nonstop. Hopefully you guys listen to it as well. Put your comments in the comment section. Let us know if you like it or not. So, Blair, what is the album or catalog or single you've been bumping nonstop for the past couple days?
Yeah. So for me, I've always been a huge fan of Ty Dolla $ign. One, because he's from LA, and two, I think he's just one of the most underrated artists in the game.
He's also poor.
He's also poor?
A whore.
A whore? I don't know enough about that.
No, I don't mean like actually a whore. Like at Coachella, we saw him 7 times in the span of 2 days.
Oh, yes. He's a musical whore for sure. This fool was on 7 different... I'm not going to lie. I was a big fan, but by the 7th appearance, I'm like, yo, bro, I paid to see everyone else, not just you. Shit. I saw him.
Everyone brought him out, bro. Yeah. Everyone brought him out.
Literally. Which proves how underrated he is, because they wanted him to save the fucking show.
That's a great point.
It proves how many different people he probably writes for and works for. But anyways, he
Pink and Black didn't bring him out, or Pink Black, whatever the fuck.
Pink Black, yeah. I'm sure that he's working. He wrote all this shit for all we know. But yeah, he released the track called "Hottest in the City," which, by the way, is I think really special because what most people are talking about is it has a similar sicko mode transition, but it's like in reverse. It starts off like fast as hell, like a club banger.
Is that the song with Juicy J or the song he released?
Yeah, Juicy J and Project Pat. And then it transitions to like a slower paced trap beat with Project Pat, and then it ends on like a chopped and screwed type beat. And all 3 beats are fire. I personally have music ADD, so for me it's even 3 minutes is long when it comes to a song. So this song's like 3 1-minute songs in one, which is like a dream come true for me. I've listened to the track like 3,000 times. I literally want to go to the club just to hear it and then just walk right out. So I recommend you go listen to it if you haven't already. I might link it if you're watching on YouTube so you can click directly, but we'll see how the segment works out in the future. But that's my my heat of the week.
Heat of the week. All right, so my heat of the week, I don't know because his last album dropped last week. But I've been going through Mac Miller's entire catalog like nonstop since like I think last Friday, bro. Just like
I saw you posting about it too.
Yeah, just appreciating, man. But not even like the last one, because like Swimming is a classic. I nominated for a Grammy. Like, it's a classic. No, but dude, the ones prior to that, man, like Good AM, so underrated, man. He has Kendrick on that shit, Miguel, and then the one I love the most is probably one of his least popular albums was The Divine Feminine. Bro, the song with Ty Dolla $ign is fucking 9 minutes, Cinderella, but that shit is fucking gold. So, if you have some time, go check out Mac Miller's catalog on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, whatever. Like, yo, it is fucking pure fucking gold. Rest in peace to homie Mac. Gone too soon, but just phenomenal music left behind for us.
And speaking of, so today's August 14th, I believe Dat Piff posted an article or something basically saying that yesterday was the 9-year anniversary of his kids mixtape.
Yeah, his first ever mix.
Yeah. And that was the first time I was introduced to him, and I don't know, it was just speaking of authenticity, I felt like that was a perfect example. He's just like a white dude from Philly or Pittsburgh, yeah, not Philly. A white dude from Pittsburgh who wasn't trying to be somebody he wasn't. He was just literally a kid, and he just rapped about shit he was going through, and it came off very genuine. So I think that's what catapulted to that level.
When he was going through his shit personally, you heard it. When he was in love, you heard it. When he was fucking on drugs, you heard it. Like, he wasn't trying to be anything else, which is fucking amazing. And he also didn't want to get put in that box of like, all right, you're only a hip hop artist, only do hip hop. He's like, no, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna produce my own shit. But that's funny. My first introduction, speaking, because I know in episode 1 we spoke about how you met Wiz. Wiz Khalifa just dropped. He didn't drop Rolling Papers yet, but he just dropped. Guys, it might have been around the same time you met him. He just dropped Black and Yellow, and they came to UM for like a little tour. But he was big enough that like he had like a proper crew with him. Same thing though. Fraternity brought him through for like a student event, and then Mac Miller wasn't rapping, but he was just there. And just because obviously they grew up together, like they didn't know they were cool in the beginning. Yeah. So that was my first introduction to him. I'm like, yo, who's this white dude in the back, like just loving life? And they're like, yo, that's Mac Miller. And then I checked out the kid's mixtape, and then like I think like 2 months later, he dropped Best Day Ever, and I was like, whoa, he had fucking a Just Blaze produced track for a fucking mixtape at like the age of like 17. I was like, bro, who is this guy?
Right. And I think he's one of the few white rappers that never had to deal with the whole, I mean, I could be wrong, but Eminem comparison, because like
he was his own lane.
Yeah, he was his own lane completely. He wasn't rapping fast. He wasn't speaking about dark random shit. Like, he was just him, and he just happened to be white. That was the only comparison.
The only comparison, yeah, because I think like
cheap shot.
If you think back to that age when we were in college, like Asher Roth had to like was always not competing, but being compared to like M.
Right, and he kind of sounded like him, to be honest.
No, fair enough. But like there was always that comparison. And you're right with Mac Miller. I think because people knew, like, when you hear his lyrics, like, yo, this guy's a fucking great rapper. So like he's not just trying to be put on because he's white and like, oh, I'm another white guy like me. Like, it's like not like this dude is like super dope. And then he's covered in tats. So he really looks different than Eminem. So. Yeah. And immediately, you have the Wiz Khalifa cosign. Like, I mean, I know Wiz is still like a thing now, but like, dude, Wiz between 2008 to like 2013 was like the fucking man. Like, so if you had that cosign, you're like, all right, we gotta fuck with this kid. So yeah, rest in peace to Mac. That's my
rest in peace.
Again, I've been doing that nonstop. Is there anything you're looking forward to that's dropping soon?
To be honest, nothing that I'm aware of. Do you know of any new albums?
I'm super excited because I am a massive Young Thug fan, and
I saw him post something.
Yeah,
it's coming out when? Next week?
Young Slime 2. No, it drops. Well, we're recording this, guys, on August 14th. I think it actually drops tonight or tomorrow at midnight.
Okay,
So
I'll definitely check that out.
I'll check that out. That might be both our heat of the week. If not, maybe one of ours, and we'll talk about something else. But yeah, shout out to Young Thug. Go check out his. I think it's Young Slime 2, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
Or Slime 2, whatever. But yeah, it should be dope. Young Thug's cool, man. I feel like he's super underrated. But then you realize how good he is when like so many of your favorite artists are like hoping he'll do a track with you. I mean, like,
right.
The fact that girl, Camila Cabello, fucking had to have Young Thug on that song, and like it's the #1 song in the world.
And then Post put him on that his last single,
Goodbye.
Yeah, which for some reason I feel like it didn't do as much damage to the charts as I thought. I haven't checked the charts, but I haven't heard about that song since it was released.
So this is the thing, bro. So I don't know how you are. Do you listen to the radio like on a daily basis?
Honestly, no.
That's the thing. I don't either. So. But I did check the charts, and that shit has been steadily in the top 5 since it came out.
Okay.
But like, it's just like I don't hear it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not fucking putting on 99.9 or whatever. Like I'm just not. Right. So like, if it's not in my normal rotation, like I'm not listening to it. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's episode 3 in the books.
Word. We'll get our topics and whatnot ready for next week. And we'll also bring in new segments once we figure out, what makes sense for the show. But so far, so good. I think Heat of the Week will be a good one that we'll stick with. And of course, in the comments, if you have any recommendations on what we should talk about or new segments we should include, feel free to let us know. And don't forget to like and share, please.
Hey, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. But yeah, I mean, I think this is us being, to stay on topic, us being authentic to what we know, right? We're not trying to talk about anything we don't know about, because then we'll be the corny guys just trying to put a podcast out. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Signing off. Check out episode 4 when that drops. But keep listening.